Okay, this is a reaction video. This is um I from Passport 2, 7 random things Germans do that don't make sense. Now they did a video, and I think I've done reacted to it, 7 things that Germans do that just make sense. But this one is things that Germans do that do not make sense. So let's see what this is all about.
We recently did a video all about random things Germans do that simply make a lot of sense that we had never seen in the US, but there are also some things we've noticed Germans do that, well, don't make a lot of sense.
Again, I'm sure there's quite a few things out there that don't make a lot of sense that Germans do, and I think it works vice versa. They things that we do that don't make a lot of sense, but we'll see.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie, and along with my wife Aubrey, we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. In our last video on this theme, we talked about the Instagram and TikTok trend where people post videos of things they do or see in specific places that seem to simply just make a lot of logical sense that may be unique to that one place. Now, of course, nowhere is perfect, and there may always be room for a little bit of improvement no matter what country we are talking about. So along with those things we talked about in our other video that Germans do that just simply make a lot of sense, there are also things Germans do that don't make a lot of sense. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today in our video. Germany is grand, but this, I just don't understand.
And there's probably a lot of that. If you go around the world, you see a bunch of things that just don't make sense to you.
First, as always, I have to say that we are originally from a state in the southern U.S.
Oklahoma, actually more the center of the country. Oklahoma, landlocked country. I've been there before. It's a very beautiful state.
It's called Oklahoma, and now live in the southwestern German state.
And that's pretty much. I mean, we stayed in Frankfurt, and yeah, so he's definitely to the western side of Germany. Very beautiful area too.
Of Rhineland-Pfalz, and that both of these places have their own unique subcultures that may not be representative of the two countries as a whole. Therefore, let me know your individual experiences with these things in the comments below and where you are from. Also, if you are from a different country than these two, we want to hear about what these things are like where you live. And let's just remember, just because one place does something one way and
doesn't look, we get that. I mean, everybody needs to feels we need to say it's because one country does. Whatever works for you works for you. If it makes sense to dress up like a clown and run around your backyard throwing water balloons at people before you go to work, then it makes sense to you. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's nothing bad about it. As long as you're not hurting anybody.
Another place does something in another way doesn't always mean there are rights and wrongs. Maybe just simply different ways of doing things. Go into any fast food restaurant in Germany, order fries, and they'll ask you whether you want ketchup or mayo on the side. However, when you get your order, you'll realize they literally give you one tiny packet of sauce that in no way will be enough for all of your fries. Now, in the US, we use the same tiny packages, and this
Here's in the U.S. If you ask for ketchup, okay, it's sometimes they will literally take a handful and throw it in your hand, so you'll have more than you actually need. Okay, so if they just given you one, I'm guessing that if you want more than one, they make you pay for more. It's not like that way in the United States.
Could happen to you as well, but you'll go up to the counter and simply ask for more, and they will often hand you a massive handful of packets for free. In Germany, on the other hand, for whatever reason, the same American fast food companies which are so generous in the US have decided to be all stingy in their foreign markets because they will normally charge you something.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, if you like I said, the United States, if I ask for ketchup, they'll give me a handful. Okay, they'll give me more than I need. but they're making you give you one, then make you pay for that. Doesn't make sense.
Like 30 cents for every packet you want beyond the first one included with your meal. As a principled man, I refuse to pay 30 cents for a packet of mayo that I normally would get for free in the US, so I am typically left rationing out the thimble of mayo for my fries, and this just doesn't make sense. So is charging...
You could also do like my brother does, okay? My brother likes a specific kind of mustard on his brat or his hot dog, and they don't serve the kind that he likes when we go to a sporting event. And so what did he do? He pulled out his jacket. He bought us a very small kind of mustard, the one that he likes, and he used it. In fact, he used it. Some guy goes, "Hey, can I borrow that?" And he bought it. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, that this doesn't make sense. Why are you paying 30 cents? Why are they charging you for something that you would normally get free in the United States? That doesn't make sense.
For extra sauce packets, something that Germans do that doesn't make sense, or something that American corporations do that don't make sense? Well, for this video, I'm going to pin the blame on the Germans. Oh, and most Americans would say mayo on fries is also something that Germans do that don't make sense, but I am completely sold on this now, but Rot-Weiß?
Oh, I'm not sold on it at all. I mentioned it before. Mayo on French fries is disgusting.
You've just gone too far. Overall, as anyone will tell you, especially Germans, driving in Germany overall is a much more pleasant experience than driving in the US.
I'm not so sure about that, but I haven't driven in Germany, so I don't know.
Driving school is significantly more rigorous than US driving school, and as stereotypes of Germans would have you expect, they are very good about following all of the rules and safety regulations. So I will 100% own that driving in Germany does make so much more sense than in the US. However, there is one aspect of driving in Germany that doesn't make sense to me, and that is the rules at intersections without stoplights. For example, we have a road in town that looks like this. You have a priority road that turns at a 90-degree angle and two non-priority roads that feed into the main road. Of course, cars driving on the priority road always have priority to go through this quasi-intersection, and that makes sense. Once the priority road is clear though, who has right-of-way from the non-priority road to go?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would in the United States, I would assume that whoever got there first would have priority.
First. Well, according to US driving laws, the car that arrived to the intersection first would have the right of way. But in Germany, it is always the car on the right before left. And I do not understand this rule at all. In the US,
I don't understand it. That doesn't make any sense.
It just seems fair. If you got there first, you go next. And it works out well. But I can't tell you how many times it has happened in Germany where traffic gets backed up in the lane on the left as they must wait for the traffic on the right to clear. But cars just keep coming and coming, and then sometimes cars notice that this is happening, so they cut across the parking lot that we are sitting next to so they can get in the lane on the right to skip the slowed back up, patiently waiting lane.
Yeah, that's completely silly, okay? That needs to change rapidly for people who are driving. That just does not make sense. If you get there first, you go. And I tell you, most people, if you get there at the same time, I'm very good at this. If I get there at the same time, I generally wave to the guy, let him go ahead. And then the guy behind, the guy who I just let go, will stop and let me go. It just makes more sense. That, if you're on the right, that's horrible.
And for the Germans that will comment this makes more sense because what happens if cars arrive at the same time and it isn't clear who was first? Well, in that case, the obvious solution is just to hop out of your car and duel over who gets to go first.
No, you just, you rationalize it. Come on.
As many of you know, one of the many reasons I wanted to move to Germany was to help with a lifelong goal of becoming bilingual. In school growing up, I had learned a little bit of Spanish and Latin, but it never really stuck. So I assumed that it was because I wasn't fully immersed in the language, so I thought that moving to Germany would help me do that. And it actually sounds like a lot of you are in the same boat because of the number of comments that I get of people saying they watch our videos to help practice their English. Well, I want to
That is funny because, like I said, when I went to Germany, I thought, I learned a few phrases Danke, Vita, and things like that, because I thought I might need, Dankeschön, and that I might need. Uh, but I didn't need it at all. No, everybody I ran into spoke English, and it got me the impression that if I lived in Germany, that a lot of people I would get along just fine speaking English. Now I probably would want to learn German, but almost everybody I talked to spoke English as well. That was a very nice thing for for the United States uh, tourist.
Germany. Germany is infamous amongst foreigners living in Germany for their Sunday culture of everything being shut down. But I'm not going to include that on my list because, let's be honest, this topic has already been discussed 1,000 times before. But it goes beyond just Sundays in Germany, and even on many holidays, there are lots of rules one must follow that we had never heard of before moving to Germany. For example, right before Easter this year, our weekly local newspaper printed this to remind everybody in our heavily Catholic area of the upcoming special rules on the holiday. Due to the law on the protection of Sundays and holidays of Rhineland-Pfalz, the following events are prohibited during Holy Week and Easter. Public dance events are not allowed from 4 in the morning on Maundy Thursday to 4 p.m. on Easter Sunday. Public gatherings, processions, and parades, unless they serve the practice of religion or do not correspond to the character of the holiday, as well as all public events and performances serving the entertainment which do not fit the character of the holiday, including music performances in restaurants and the operation of amusement arcades, are prohibited on Good Friday from 4 in the morning. Now, it can be and it is highly debated in parts of Germany as to what people should and shouldn't be allowed to do on holidays. However, even automated machines must get a day off on holidays. So to explain,
That doesn't make any sense.
let me tell you a little story. Last year it was Father's Day, and in Germany, everything is shut down and everybody gets off work for this holiday. However, one thing that does still operate are gas stations, of course, and I just so happened to need to fill up my car on that day. While I was there, I thought, well, I can't do anything else today, so I'll go ahead and get my car washed while I'm here as well, because this station had an automatic car wash. However, when I asked the attendant for a car wash, he informed me that because it was a public holiday, the automatic car wash was not allowed to work. Now,
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now I get days off and things like that you can't do, but it's an automated system. Okay, why wouldn't you let the automated system? Why? I mean, it almost looks like I can't go and put coins and get Coke out of the machine because it's a holiday. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I understand restrictions on holidays and things like that. Get all that. Okay, things are closed down, but automated machines. Come on.
I can understand if I was at a car wash business where actual people washed the car, and because it was a public holiday, they all had off from work, so nobody was there to wash a car. But Germany has gone so far as to even give the machines a day off from work on public holidays, and I was not allowed to go through an automatic car wash. Now, okay, maybe you can make an argument that if something went wrong, then someone would have to leave their day off to come and fix the machine, and that would cause them to work or something like that. But automatic machines not being allowed to work on a holiday doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, it's an automatic machine. If you want to use it, you should be able to.
At nearly every German store, and in particular at German grocery stores, right inside the entrance, there will typically be little gates that will automatically swing open when you approach them, and they only open one way to let you in. If you try and go through these barriers the wrong way and to leave the store through them, they will set off a siren letting everybody know. Therefore,
Yeah, in the U.S. you don't have that. If I go in through an automatic door, it'll open and it'll open both ways.
often the only way to get out of the store is to follow the maze of aisles and then exit through the checkout lines. However, once you arrive there, any checkout line not in use will have one of these swinging gates blocking you from leaving. Except these gates do not automatically swing open to let you buy, and you must leave through a checkout line
And what if you're not buying anything?
where the cashier is checking people out and has opened the gate for people to pass through after they have paid for their goods. So, if you can't tell, this isn't something that I am used to, and I would say it is very rare if you ever see these types of gates in stores in the US at all.
Look, in the United States, here's how it works. You have an entrance and an exit. Now, there are people who go in through the exit, okay? Both the entrance and the exit, okay? And it really just depends on the matter of convenience how well you know the store, because like there's certain products that are right by where the exit is. You just go right in and you get it and move on your merry little way. But if you don't buy anything, okay, if I go in a store, say I went there to buy something, but I said, well, it turns out I don't need it, or I have to use whatever, I can just walk right on out. If there's a checkout lane that's not being used, I can try and walk through that and just go on out the store. But based on what he's telling me, if there's a long line, I have to stand in that line. I guess when I get up to, I have to wait for her to check out the goods. The gate opens up, and then I would go say, I'm not getting anything, and then walk on my merry little way, and the next person go in. But that seems like a waste of time to me. Now, I can understand the logic behind it. I'm guessing it's to stop shoplifters and things like that, but still.
And I honestly don't understand the reason for them. Of course, there is the obvious argument that maybe these are to reduce theft, as you must go through the checkout with your goods rather than sneaking out the entrance away from the employees. But as a comment pointed out recently in one of our videos, in Germany you can enter any store or supermarket.
So you can dream more today and worry less about tomorrow. And they can too.
Kit Kat! Reese's!
You deserve both.
See ya, boys.
Supermarket with your personal backpack. Then you take your backpack and you start stuffing it with what the products that you want. Then you go to the cashier to empty out the products that you have just stuffed moments ago. Nobody would call you a thief, and that is wonderful among the Germans. And I agree, that is great and something I would never do in the US and fear getting accused of stealing. But because of this, maybe there is a need for the gates in Germany because they trust you to do that, but not enough not to lock you in with gates in front of the exit. But when this really gets frustrating for me is when I go in a store, don't buy anything, and then am trapped because I can't go back out the way I came without setting off an alarm. But at the checkout line, there was a line of people that is hard to squeeze through because of the people waiting in line, and all of the unused lanes have gates blocking me from getting out. Where in the US, we don't have these gates, and I have the freedom to easily leave the store if I choose. In Germany, I always do an awkward dance of trying to see if I could squeeze by the line, or trying to see if there is a gate that I may be able to squeeze by. But then I always get worried that the checkout clerks think I'm trying to sneak out stealing something. It would just be so much easier if I could just go in a shop, decide I don't want something, and just easily walk out. But maybe this is just a personal problem as a foreigner not used to the system, even after years of living in Germany.
And again, another thing that they have in the United States, I know they have it in Germany, but if I'm just buying, let's say, Mama Homemaker has just filled her cart filled with the grocery, and I'm buying just a bag of cookies and some milk. Okay, do I have to wait behind her while they bring her out? While I just have, or can I? Do you have like a lane where you have, 12 items or less? Do you have like lanes where you as a consumer can just check yourself out? You walk up there and you just scan your items, put them in a bag, pay, and then go. I wonder if they have that.
After nearly 3 years of living in Germany, we have learned the many, many endearing qualities of Germans, and I really do mean that. We have loved getting to know Germans on a personal level and learning more about their cultural norms and how it influences the very general overarching personality of the country. However, you knew there was going to be a however. There,
of course, there's going to be a however.
Is one aspect that we have uncovered of Germans that can drive us a little crazy sometimes, and that is their unwillingness to give up more information than the bare minimum of what you asked for. The best example of this that I could think of where I was just left wondering what was going on during a conversation with a German was when I was trying to get my first vaccination. I had heard that our local doctor had gotten a batch in and was taking appointments for people to come in and get the jab. I called the office and my conversation went like this. Hi, I'm Donnie, and I was wondering if you had gotten the COVID vaccine in yet? Yes. Oh, great. Do you have appointments to receive it? Yes.
See, in the United States, if I call and say, "Have you heard you got the vaccination?" Yes, Mr. Cordova. That might be the last, would you like to set up an appointment? Yes, I would. And then they would start giving me information when I can come in there. But based on what this is, just like, you know, just giving you, yes, we have it. Okay, do you have appointments? Yes. Okay, how about a little bit more information than that? It looks like they're giving it.
Okay. May I make an appointment? Yes! And this wasn't a language barrier thing or anything because I was speaking in German the whole time. But where in the US I would have expected the conversation to go a little bit more like this. Hi, I'm Donnie and I was wondering if you had gotten the COVID vaccine in?
Yeah, and we still have a few spots available this week. Would you like to make an appointment to come in and receive it?
In Germany, I have found that Germans have a tendency to just
I say it here, it comes out there.
directly answer the question you ask, but offer no other information up unless you follow up and ask more questions about it. I guess I could make an argument that they don't want to assume they know what you are leading to when you start asking questions, but at the same time, there are so many times where it is obvious where a conversation is going, but it can be like an interrogation just to get any information out, and you have to know exactly what questions to ask, otherwise they won't offer any other information up to you. I just feel so much conversations could be much quicker and more streamlined if they didn't do this, and for this reason, I just don't understand why they do this. To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is... what's the best memory you have? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's from Passport 2. Please click like, share, and subscribe for them, and like, share, and subscribe for me as well. But this was interesting. Yeah, a lot of what I said, they said there does not make a whole lot of sense, at least from an American point of view. But I guess from a German point of view, it does make all the sense in the world. But that is what it is. But hey, thanks for watching. Please click like, and share, and subscribe for them. Like, share, and subscribe for me, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.